Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time is But a Window, and I'm sure that you guys have all heard about that pro disqualified for cheating at a LAN tournament recently. If you don't, you can find a link to the video where I talk about it in depth in the description below. Now what I'm going to be doing in this video is talking about the very last game that Optic India got to play, the one where Forsaken got banned. There is definitely some pretty shady stuff happening this game. Though we're going to take our time this video and go through the warm-up first. Here you can see he seems to be setting up some stuff. Now this is not abnormal. Back when I used to go to big tournaments like CPLs, yeah, those were considered big tournaments back in the old days. You were allowed to bring your own computer and practice in the BYOC, but when the actual tournament went live, you went to go play on their PCs. By the way, as you can see, he completely destroyed those guys with some amazing aim right here in the warm-up. Either way, back to what I was saying, they pretty much gave you about 15 minutes to get everything set up and warm up on their computers before the match would go live. So I'm gonna assume it probably works pretty similarly nowadays. So it's not uncommon to see people messing with settings in the warm-up to make sure everything is absolutely as close to perfect as possible, because from computer to computer certain things vary. But there definitely does seem to be something off about him playing in warm-ups, because at the beginning of the warm-up he seems like he's kind of on fire, he's just snapping to people's faces. But as he keeps adjusting stuff, he seems to get worse and worse. Maybe he's lowering the FOV of the aimbot. Now when he was questioned from his teammates, he said he was only using a trigger bot, but the thing is, as you can see at quad, he just tracks the guy right through the box, so I'm pretty sure it was an aim lock. Again, getting away with wall hacking at a LAN tournament is going to be almost impossible. Even tweaking cheat settings without people noticing you would be pretty difficult. I mean, look at the picture here. You can see that his coach is sitting right behind him. Even though he's all the way to the right and he has a bad view of it, people can walk past him back there. The one thing is, this does look like it's a stage match, so only a few people are going to be up there and not just everyone from the crowd. But even back at CPL, we had cameramen walking around behind us while we were playing the games. I mean, look how easy it is for people to see your screen. Okay, let's start the game and move on to pistol round. The other team takes the A site and he needs to rotate over. Obviously, he got completely flashed right there, and there was not much he was going to be able to do, and it looks like the cheats aren't aim locking while he's blind at least. On the next round, as you can see, they're taking the A site once again, and he's got a CZ75, so it's going to be a really difficult retake. But I want you guys to pay really close attention to not only his crosshair, but what he does here. What the fuck was that? Now, in the old days, we used to use mice that would skip out a lot, and stuff like that could happen from time to time if you flick too quickly. Or even if there was a hair or dust in the sensor. Let's look at it again one more time really quick. So as you can see, his teammate is firing over here, and he's trying to assist his teammate in coming around that truck. He takes a couple of shots at the first guy, but the first guy actually gets out of the way. Meanwhile, he gets re-peeked right here, and when he gets dinked, the aimbot tries to autocorrect for the recoil, and he ends up aiming straight at the ground. Which had to be hilarious to the guys shoutcasting this. Alright, let's move on to the next round. So this round they changed things up and have Forsaken playing over at the A site. Once again, nothing amazing happens and we're moving on. Wait a second, did he just lock on again? So as you can see, he locks onto the guy's back and just tracks him perfectly without moving his crosshair at all, staying on that exact spot on the terrorist's back as he jumps. Moving on to the next round, we have an aggressive play here as his teammate flashes for him and he's able to peek B main. Some really good shots there, but honestly, I wouldn't be able to distinguish that from a top-level player. And while he seems oblivious at times, I really do feel bad for his teammates because they seem to have their shit down. Right there you can see an obvious aim lock to the guy's head as he hits mouse 1. Granted, he didn't kill him with the headshot, but I think that's just because of how random CSGO's bullets can be. But here you go, back to me talking about him being oblivious. Here he obviously hears the scope from the AWP, but he doesn't seem to react to it. And when you expect to see a top player, you'd think you'd react to it, though I know that at some tournaments it can be quite noisy and hard to hear. And moving along, here's one of the most blatant moments of the game. As you can see here, the locking is very similar to what happens over at the B site earlier on the game when he locks on the guy's back. Except this is even more blatant because not only is he locking on the guy, he's locking on the guy and following him through the box. Let's move on to the next round. Again, this is one of those shots that make me just shake my head, not at the cheater here, but at Valve. Come on, he's got an aim lock on the guy's head and it still doesn't hit him in the face. On the next round, they take the A site and he goes for a really big flank. Credit to the other team for being able to hit these dirty shots. So he's got a very aggressive positioning here, and his teammate's going to go down, putting him in a very bad crossfire situation. While that didn't look really shady, it was just odd that he ran out full-on spraying like he did. Those riflers of you out there, let me know if that kind of tactic usually works for you. Pretty nice kills there, given that there was a Molotov up, and we know how, depending on your settings, it can be very difficult to see through those. But nothing overly blatant. And here, Forsaken just seems to go completely brain dead. Losing that round puts his team in economic trouble, and he's got to do a save round here. After that, it really looks like one of two things. One, maybe he just flicked to the heads of those guys and got those kills. Or two, he has a second key he uses to toggle on the aimbot. Let me show you what I mean. If we watch this in slow motion, you can see that this looks like his natural aiming ability, but these kills, especially the second one, seems like he just hit a toggle key to flick to the guy's face and shoot. Now, that doesn't mean it absolutely was, but since he was banned for cheating, I'm going to say that given how hard it was for him to aim on those guys as they were coming in, it most likely was something like that. Now, given that situation, I kind of just feel like the terrorist was out of his FOV range. But if he is being more dynamic and specifically toggling on to certain kills like I thought he was on the Deagle round, then it makes me wonder what's actually going through his head. What situations are worthy of the toggle and which ones aren't? Or is his cheat set up to actually toggle to the guy's head after a certain amount of bullets, like when an M4, maybe the second bullet goes towards the guy's head? And with that, they had actually lost the round and lost the first half. As you can see, he didn't take a shot towards Tree Room there. I'm not sure if he just didn't react to the guy, or if maybe he thought his teammate was in the way and didn't want to accidentally shoot him in the back of the head. Again, nothing looked too crazy there, though it seemed to flick to him after about the 5th bullet. I mean, at first he's to the left of the guy, then he's to the right, then he gets dinked, and all of a sudden he's on target, but then he goes down. They still managed to win the round though, so here we can see them actually doing an A take on the next round. Honestly, not entirely sure why he didn't try to finish off the guy at door. He only shot 2 bullets. If he shot 1 more, that guy would have been dead. And there again, he's able to finish off the last 2 kills with some nice sprays, which is either helped out by the aimbot or some kind of anti-recoil script, which we saw earlier on the CZ round. The next round's an eco round for the CTs, and he doesn't have to do too much as they make their way into the A site. And even though right now they are winning some terrorist side rounds, it is still a pretty close game, and here he actually finds himself down a man, and he's going to have to try to take the B site. Again, you can see he locked right on to one spot of his body and just kind of tracked that one position. And then he got absolutely obliterated through the box while trying to plant. After that, a timeout is called, and you guys all know what happens next.
不过这把 Revolution 虽然赢下来这番，但是经济仍然是特别差，没错。最惨的是一把 MP9。
Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth look at Forsaken and his final game at the tournament. I'm honestly pretty surprised he was able to be as blatant as he was. Not only that, I'm surprised they allowed the cheat client to go off twice before they even checked out his computer. The first time it went off was actually in a loss the day before this match was played. If you're interested in seeing that game, that video will be coming out soon. Part of me wonders if the detections were actually caused by him doing blatant acts, like in this game. Because as I mentioned prior, in the first game of this series against Revolution, the cheat detection actually did not go off. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, have a great day.